We had I thought, a complete football game against Southeast Missouri this last Saturday. I was very pleased with the consistency of how we played on offense, and defensively we didn't get off to a good start, but I thought we played better as the game went on. I thought we established some physicalness in the game, and I thought the kicking game, that players put it all out there in every one of the kicking situations. It was a fairly complete football game. If we can take that and build on that, then we're going to be a competitive team throughout the year, and that's what we established for ourselves. So we should be back on schedule after that game to what we initially started with. Rashod Byers is sitting here. Rashod is a second-year player. Last year we played him at both tailback and corner in a football game, and he's a very talented young man. He's not playing defense because he couldn't play offense. He'd be a very dynamic running back for us, but the corner position is one that really defines how you play defense. If you have to play a safety on a corner to handle somebody, then you start losing numbers inside, and you give way to getting outnumbered in the running game. Rashod allows us to have good numbers, be able to play, because he can play one-on-one, he can press. At the same time, he's a very physical player. He can get involved in a running game like a linebacker. Come on in here, Barry. Terrence is a sort of the other extreme of proficiency, skill. Terrence also came as an offensive player initially, but as he developed his size, it became obvious that he's one of those rare individuals that had everybody needs to take this word as a good word. He has the girth, and that doesn't mean he's fat. It means he's got wideness. He has the ability to actually occupy a space that it should take two people to do something about. So he represents an opportunity for us to play a style of defense just like Rashod does. Both, even though young players, we are developing a style of play around their talents. I think as coaches, one of our biggest challenges is to evaluate what position to put players in, and these two guys certainly are the kind of players that their talents cause us to find situations in particular that meet their skill sets. Barry's a walk-on player that came in and played as a true freshman as a walk-on there, right here. And he plays the dog. I don't know how they came up with that position. Did you name that?
No.
You didn't name it the
Coach
dog?
Williams did all that.
Okay. Coach Williams named it the dog position. It's really the three technique. And it's a position that carries a lot of responsibility for activity, the ability to slip blocks, create a pass rush, and he's come from being a walk-on. 2 years later, he's a starter. Deserves a lot of credit for what we've been able to accomplish on defense so far, and what we certainly expect to accomplish going forward. Going forward, we're playing a Tennessee Tech football team that we hadn't beaten in a couple of years. We've had very inconsistent games with them. Our inconsistency. We've have played very well in spots through the game, both games, these last two games. But I think having the ability to finish them has been lacking in both cases. I don't think we match up poorly against them. All we need to do is just take care of business every day, and everybody accept their responsibility and go out and play. And I think we'll be fine in this football game. They do pose a threat. They have a lot of experienced players. They've got a lot of guys that have got 3 stars by their names, guys that are seniors. They've got a very experienced and capable quarterback in Trey Lamb. Who I think is probably a 4th-year starter, but he's got a new weapon in Derek Rogers, who was he all SEC last year?
Led the SEC in receiving yardage. He
led the SEC in receiving yardage. Certainly going to be a challenge to have that kind of experience of quarterback and that kind of productivity at one wide-out position. But they're a team offensively that they will run the ball. This is not a one-dimensional team. They do play with tempo. We are going to have to get communicated and get lined up, and on defense they challenge us because they play very smart and they play very fast. So they've got a solid kicking game. It's going to be not unlike a lot of games that maybe all the games we have going forward. I mean, we've got a chance to win. They've got a chance to win. Who has the best preparation and who maintains the focus from beginning to end of the game. We've been playing these folks for a while. I don't think there's much mystery about it.
Coach, would you just speak a little bit to how dynamic is Tech's passing game, or how dynamic was it before Rogers got there?
Yeah.
And now how much more is it with him there?
Well, the passing game before him there was a guy there named Tim Bedford who was the offensive player of the year in the conference last year. And so they replaced him with one of comparable, if not more exceptional, talent. And they've got just about everybody else back. Experience means a lot. I think the challenge for our defense is very big. But after seeing us play last week, as long as we realize this is not a 2-back power team, it's a different style of play. We just got to adjust the style of play. We're going to be in space a lot more, and we got to tackle. They're going to try to create things in space, and we're going to have guys spread all over the field. We're going to have to come. We're fast enough to get there. We're smart enough to get there. We got to make the tackles. They're going to make some first downs. We need to keep first downs to first downs. Don't let first downs be touchdowns.
And where would you put Lamb in relation with Brockman and Garoppolo and maybe the?
I think he's a little bit more of the runner threat than those two. I think he's a little more apt to actually take it down and run with it. Probably a better runner. They will actually scheme option plays for him to get the ball, get people blocked, so he can get to the second level. So I think that the threat that he represents is a little bit more than the other guys because he's a 2-dimensional threat.